Right, live. Hello, peoples. I am going to give y'all time to get y'all popcorn ready. Um, your your soda, your water, whatever it is that you do. Get you time to stream this to the Fire Stick television. Um, let me, and y'all will get to see another lovely episode of Behind the Inspo. And while I give y'all time, we will be back to this clip. All right. Hi, y'all. All right. Welcome to Behind the Inspo. We are back. Another great episode. And for those of y'all that do not know, I am Jasmine Jones, and I am founder of Primplife Incorporated, or the Primplife Plan. We are an empowerment organization for young girls and inspire them to confidence and uplift their spirit. And so Behind the Inspo was inspired by one of our webtoon series based off self-esteem. And this is my opportunity to interview women that I admire that have their own business and building their own legacy. And so without further ado, our very special guest is SHALONDA WALKER. She is the lead designer of Boutique Styles. Round of applause.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for being up here. Fun fact, I always share like the history I have with guests. Sometimes it's my first time meeting them when we meet, but we have some history.
We
Yes. I was walking for Kitty and Rose in one of the fashion shows you had, and I believe it was in Cary, North Carolina. I think it was.
That's right. That's right.
Right, and it was such a beautiful show, such beautiful designs, swimwear. They were so fun, but they were also just very stylish. Like sometimes you see swimwear and they're not plain. Yeah, that is the word for it. They're plain sometimes, but these had
Yes.
a lot of style and a lot of flair. Like you could go to the beach, but you might want to just walk around with it on. And I was like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, I was so inspired. And I could just tell she's a very hard worker. And I was like, I have to interview you and have you on the show. And that's our little history. So
Oh, thank you. Thank you
you're
so much.
welcome. You're welcome. And so if you could tell us about yourself and your business.
All right. So, boutique styles actually started as a hobby for me. Actually, sewing started as a hobby. Um, I was looking for a white dress, and at the time in 2014, you couldn't we didn't know that people were like tracking our activity online, like on our phones and stuff. So you know how like
Oh,
you'll you'll learn or you'll go look for something, right? Something on the internet, and then all of a sudden you start seeing ads for that
yes.
thing,
Hmm.
right? So didn't know they were doing that at the time, but in 2014, I was looking for a little white dress to wear to an all white party. And then I saw an ad for or a sponsored post by fashion designer and entrepreneur Mimi G. And I clicked on the post, it took me to her website, and I read this blog entry about this white dress that she had on in the picture and found out that she made it. And I was like, what? Like I had just started learning to sew baby blankets. Like I just wanted to craft
Uh-uh.
something. And
Uh-huh.
so I was like, she made that. And then I saw that she made patterns for simplicity and that she also taught DIY. Like she took you through the process of sewing. She had a YouTube with videos and techniques that she would teach you, and I was just blown away. Like I was all in. So that's when I first started learning to sew clothes. Was just watching Mimi G and watching her YouTube videos, buying books, trying to study as much as I can. I started on a small sewing machine that my mom had, and needless to say, like my first couple of projects didn't turn out too well.
I'm
But
sure they were better than you thought.
oh man, I remember trying to do pants, and pants are very hard to do.
Mhm.
Um, and I couldn't get these pants past my knees. I just had cut them. I cut the fabric way too small. I didn't understand the size difference between like in store. If you wear a small, what does that mean as far as the size of fabric that you need to cut? But
Okay.
anyway, that several years later, I ended up creating. I came up with the name Boutique Styles. I was out of work and I was like, I need something to keep me busy. Like, I need to put my energy into something or I'm going to get depressed. And so there became
So,
Boutique Styles. And I just was, trying to do a website and trying to blog. I'm not really good at it. Like, I'm still not good at it, but like I would rather hire someone to do that part for me. Let me focus on the sewing.
I
But
understand.
so that's what just I just kept using that name. I just kept using that name, and I just wanted something beautiful and unique and that had style. So that's when I was like, okay, it's Beauty Styles, and that's where we're going with
Yeah, I love that. That comes together so seamlessly. Beautiful, unique with style.
it.
Yes. Okay. Oh, I never would have actually put that together. It seems like it would be obvious, but that,
It's okay, and people are like, boutique, like, where did you come up with that? And I was like, oh, beautiful, unique with style. And I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah, right. I definitely think it fits because I know when I saw your fashions and your designs, that's those three words they really came to mind. Like I said, y'all, it had a lot of flair to them. They were not like boring, they were very lively, but a lot of style and like you said, beautiful and unique at the same time. So it's very fitting.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh my gosh, I love that. And also it's also interesting to know kind of what can come from because you said you were out of work, so what can come from like what we can see sometimes is like missed opportunity
Hmm.
opens doors to better opportunity or something that we should be investing our time into anyway. So thank you for sharing that
Absolutely.
as
Thank
well.
you. Yeah,
Our
thank
fellow
you for
entrepreneurs need to know.
absolutely. Like, I feel like it's important to talk about that, especially in our community. We don't really touch on depression or anxiety, stress, and especially as Black women, we're almost viewed as like the expectation is for us to just handle it, just deal with it, right? But that's not who we are. We're humans, right? And so I think it's important to talk about that.
Definitely so. Definitely so. So and well, I guess you kind of already answered this question, but if you did have to choose one word to describe, your fashion line, what would it be and why?
It would be inclusive. So that is
Oh,
big for me.
yes, inclusivity, buzzword.
Yes, yes, I love that. In the show, yes, that you spoke about, I had women of all sizes, women of all colors, and um, I love that. Like, don't tell me because my skin complexion is a certain color that I can't wear a certain piece of clothing, or I can't wear a certain color of clothing, and So I wanted, I wanted my neon green on the chocolatiest girl that I had walking in the
Yes,
show. Like I just loved it. I had, from a size 0 to a size 24 in my show.
you
And it
definitely did.
really, it really meant a lot to me to be able to do that. So inclusive would be how I describe it.
Inclusive. I love that. And I remember that too. And that is so that that is such like that's such a need, especially for like fashionable and stylish clothing. Because sometimes with clothing, like they have things that fit one way or look one way for like certain types of sizes or certain types of looks, and I always like hate that. I'm like, why do stores operate like this? Y'all all sell the same thing. You might as well differentiate and include everybody. So it was wonderful to know that that's a part of what you do when you make your styles as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, just because you're plus size doesn't mean that you want to be on the beach in a bathing suit and have grandma on the other side of the beach in the same swimsuit. Like, it just you may not want that. And
Right.
so you can get you a custom swimsuit made by Boutique Styles, or you could be grandma going to Jamaica and you trying to, be a Stella got a groove that type of vacation, and you need
Yeah.
something a little more sexy than what you can find in the store.
Love it. So is that so you cater to doing like custom orders for your
Yes.
clients?
Yes,
Gotcha.
I cater to doing custom. I've thought about doing mass production. I really feel like it would take away from that uniqueness and exclusivity of a beauty styles design. It may come for something else. I have some other avenues that I want to expand on for beauty styles.
Mhm.
So like if I was going to do like accessories or some home stuff, then of course, I would go the mass production.
Right. Gotcha.
My earpiece fell out. I would go
Okay,
the
we hear
mass
you.
production route. And but for now with the swimsuits, it's custom. And like I actually just finished. I did my first wedding 2 weeks ago. So it wasn't a wedding dress. Um, I won't do wedding dresses.
Oh, I hear so
But
many designers say that. Is it because it's a lot of to take on?
it was a lot of anxiety. I did the reception outfit for the bride. Now, mind you, I've known this bride. I met her in 2016, and she was supposed to get married last year. And she's always been a huge supporter of boutique styles. Um, and she came to me last January, and they were supposed to get married last April, but of course, COVID. So we've been
Mhm.
working on it for a while, and it all came together. But I can tell you, like her wedding date, I cleared my calendar. Like I need to be available in case anything she needs anything for that day. I mean, and she ended up. Luckily, the wedding was down the street from my house, and she ended up calling me because one of her bridesmaids didn't get the bottom of the dress altered. Like it was too long. So here I go, sewing machine in tow
Seaming
over
it
to
up.
the hotel to fix bridesmaid's dress. But everything turned out great, and she loved it, and everyone else loved it. But the level of anxiety that I had, I don't know that I want to go through it again, especially not for the dress. Like, that's like the center of the ceremony.
It
Okay, yeah,
is
nice
the main
flowers.
piece.
Yeah, yeah. Ring bearing flower girl are cute, but the wedding dress is the
Like
center of the ceremony. I won't do it.
it is a lot of pressure. Oh my gosh. I always wonder because I hear a lot of designers like say that when it comes to things like that. But I definitely understand because that's huge task to take on. And like also so with well obviously with sewing being a huge part of design, would you say you enjoy it? There's a reason I asked that, but like, is sewing like one of your favorite parts of the design process, or is it one of the other parts?
I do like the sewing because it's like you start to see it come together. Really, I mean, you're taking something. What do I have over here? I don't know what I have over here. Hold on one second. You're taking something that is flat, and you're making it three-dimensional. So it's two parts for me. And there's sometimes where I want to sew something because I'm taking a pattern out of the store and I'm, cutting my fabric and putting it all, assembling it by the sewing machine. There's other times where I get an idea in my head and I just start sketching. And then I just rely on, what's in my head, the vision I want, and that's fun too. But you have to sew
Gotcha.
it to see if what you thought in your head and on
If it
paper is
comes to
able
life.
to turn into yes, yes, yes. So it
I
really is giving it life. I can tell you, our favorite photographer, Nikon Don,
got
um,
you.
hit me up one day back in 2019, and he's like, "Hey, we're doing a photo shoot this weekend by the pool. Do you mind designing some swimsuits?" And I was like, "Sure." I think I had like maybe 2 weeks, and
Oh, that's short notice.
that's when I designed the pink. Yes, it was short notice, but it was fine. It worked out. Like I already had some ideas in my head, so I had
Mhm.
some styles available that I hadn't put out yet. And so I designed the pink swimsuit that Deanna wore at the pool and almost broke the internet. Like,
Yes, love
um,
Deanna.
she gave that swimsuit justice.
Love Deanna.
She did it right. And I had one designed for Jasmine as well, from the CEO of Kitty and Rhodes, and so she wore a
Yes,
design.
yes.
And then my favorite, swimsuit that I made myself, which is actually the very first one I ever made, Alimatu wore it for the photo shoot, and I was like, I just want people to see. I mean, me and Alimatu are two different body types. She's long and lean, and I'm short, 5'3", kind of thick. And we were able to wear the same design, and it looked amazing. So
Oh yeah,
I
and to
could say I
show
really like
that
both
contrast.
parts.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Because I had asked, well, back in the day, like way back in the day, I thought I wanted to be a fashion designer at some point in my life. I found out that I hated sewing, so I was like, oh no, this isn't gonna work. I only like the sketching part and like kind of presenting what I thought this would come out to be. I didn't want to do anything else. I was like, this isn't my path. I was all, I always like as fashion designers, like the sewing part, like, I know it's important, but do you love it? Because it's a very tedious
Hmm. Right,
process.
right. And there's some designers that really just are paper. They're paper. Like I'm not a good sketch artist. I have books that teach me how to sketch or how to like draw fabric texture. I'm not good at that. I love watching the videos though on YouTube and on Instagram. I like watching the videos, and
Always open.
I've learned how to do like use Adobe Illustrator to kind of put together a drawing in case I do want it to go to mass production.
Yes.
Um, but I would say like designing for me is more so in my head, right? And then I'm not doing like a full sketch. I'm probably just doing like a little drawing on an already, pre-printed body template. And sometimes I'm going through that as well with my clients. Like it's so funny. Sometimes I'll get messages or emails about um okay, so one most recent one, she liked the swimsuit that I wore on my Instagram. She saw a picture she liked this swimsuit, and she's like, "Hey, I'd like to get one like this, but I want the bottoms regular." And I was like, "Okay, so what is your regular?" Because
Right.
to me, a regular bottom is the traditional bikini cut bottom.
Hmm.
Do you want cheeky? Like, do you want boy shorts? Do you want a thong? Um, and she named like three different things, and then she's like, and I want a high waisted, and I was like,
It's where the
okay.
custom
I was like,
process
I think we
begins.
should schedule a consultation. Right, we can do it, but we have to schedule a consultation to make sure we're both in agreement with, what the plan is. If you
Mhm.
say I
Yeah,
want a high waisted bikini thong, all right, let's sketch it out and make sure you're happy with this, and then we can go from there. So I think
understood.
both sides are important, but I enjoy the sewing. It's really therapeutic for me.
Gotcha. Okay. That's beautiful. But that's also beautiful that you're what you describe, you're a visionary. So I always think that's so cool, being able to take what's in your head and bring it to life, really the cornerstone of creativity, honestly.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so what inspired you to create your own fashion line? Because I know you said you were learning different things and you were trying to wanted to find something you love to do. Was there anything else that like inspired this journey to come about, or did you ever like consider another avenue?
So yeah, so actually my background is in chemistry. I have a bachelor's of science in chemistry. And it's so funny. I've
Okay,
always been
STEM.
into fashion.
Yes, we got a STEM leader in here, y'all. All right, now I have to shout that out. I love that. We have a STEM tune too. That's so cool.
Oh, yay, yay. So I actually work like my 9 to 5. I work for a large pharmaceutical company. Um, and since graduation, I've always worked in pharma. But when I first started sewing, learning to sew, it was the baby blankets, and then I was like, okay, I want to learn how to sew clothes. So I would make dresses for myself, and I'd always get, or skirts, and I would always get compliments, right, about the outfit, and I said, oh, thank you, I made it, and people were like, oh, you made it, and so then people started asking me to make things for them.
Yes.
I'm like, sure, I can do that. And it kind of took off from there. But I mean, even as a kid, like I've always been into big hair, big earrings, and I've
Accessorizing.
always like looking in. Now we didn't have, I say what? That describes
Ex-
you?
ex- oh no, I was saying accessorizing, just all that fashion stuff. When you were talking about you've
Oh
always been
yeah,
to
yeah,
the hair and
yeah.
the earrings of it.
Absolutely. So when I was growing up, we had, Ebony, Essence, and Jet always on the coffee table. There wasn't a Vogue, there
Mhm.
wasn't a Cosmopolitan. It was Ebony, Essence, Jet. And I would
Representation.
always, yes,
Loved it.
it was important in my household. So I would always get Jet magazine, and I wanted to know who was Jet Beauty of the Week and where was she from and what did she study in school and what did she do, and the swimsuits for the Jet Beauty of the Week. Like I was always into it. And um I can remember being a kid and, going clothes shopping when I was in high school, and I ran track, and, having to get a size bigger in jeans to be able to fit my legs. And then maybe they didn't fit my waist. And oh God, I hated it. I hated being in school with clothes that didn't fit or I didn't feel comfortable in. So it was really important for me, it's kind of like an expression of self, a
Mhm.
little bit of an expression of rebellion, right?
Yes, because fashion is rebellion. That's so
And
true.
So that's really kind of why I started sewing clothes for myself. And then people started asking, could I do this? Could I make this? Could I make that for them? And I was like, cool. So I met a client in 2017. Oh, I'm trying to remember. I think it was 2017. And she wanted an outfit. She had tried to order this thing offline and they were out of stock. So she wanted it. She wanted it made. So we had met through a mutual friend and she loved the outcome of the outfit. And she told me at the time the guy she was dating was going to be a part of this plus size fashion show and that I should, look into it about for to become a designer. And so I was like, okay. By that time, I'd made one swimsuit for myself. So from there, I just went into creating the first swimsuit line for Boutique Styles, and it premiered in 2018. And then I said, okay, I want to do my own fashion show, um, or showcase, And so um, I did. That's what we did in 2019. In Cary
Yes,
was the
that's
Forever
so
Summer
beautiful.
fashion show.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how things evolved, over time, and that's how I got into plus size garment making, and it's it doesn't for me. It's not really that much different. People are
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I don't do plus size," or I don't work with a certain type of fabric, and I see no difference.
Gotcha.
I'm like, I'm down for whatever.
Right, jack of all trades. I love your story because it really does show how things do fall in line. Of course, with like hard work and putting your mind to it, as you obviously have done. It just really shows like how you can't run from your path. 'Cause it's almost like your fashion purpose and your fashion path was always with you, and it never left you as you progressed. And I'm just
At all. Yeah. It never left me. I even my senior project in college was, you know, synthesizing indigo dye in the lab
Mhm.
and seeing what different fabrics would take to the dye. So
Okay,
like it's
textile.
always been there, even even in school, like it's always been there. And then with the plus size swimwear, my grandmother was plus size, but let me tell you something, my grandmother would put on her swimsuit and go to the pool and pull the finest thing at the pool to be on her arm for her to take a photo with, honey. She did not care. She would strut around that pool with her cane and her swimsuit. She did not
Ah,
care. Okay.
love it. Yes, confidence,
So
and
when I'm
self-love
making
all
plus size
wrapped in one.
swimwear, like I just keep her in mind. Because I mean, I remember, the difficulties that my mom and my grandmother would have, finding a swimsuit that would give them support up here, or cover the parts that they don't want shown,
Mhm.
and so I just remember that, and so I keep that in mind every time I make anything plus size. Um, I keep her in mind. So she's a definite inspiration behind some of the swimwear.
I love that. I love that, like the family influence, and then also what you mentioned about like the magazine. I tell people all the time, representation is so important, and it's not always something that can be seen as like people might not see how it is important, but when you see people like you and like what you've accomplished because of representation that you grew up with, even if it didn't resonate right then, it's like y'all, we need representation. Especially
Absolutely.
for Black
I
girls.
didn't have
But
black teachers. Absolutely. I was, there were no black doctors where I lived, my hometown. I went to an elementary school. It was a majority white school. So you had maybe two classes per grade level. And between those two classes, let's say you had 55 to 60 students. There might have been
Mhm.
5 Black kids, 1 or
I
2
know the feeling.
Hispanics,
Yeah.
and 1 or 2 Asian or Pacific Islanders, and that was it. So my representation to know that these opportunities were available to me was in the magazines, right? It wasn't a
Mhm.
fictional BET movie or, music video only. It was also in these magazines.
Yes. That is, y'all, I'll write that down and remember. I always want to drive that home. Representation is so important in just the creativity that it sparks. And you have a customer as well because Dr. Renita Webb says, I am in need of one of your designs.
Ah,
So,
all
yes,
right, ma'am.
I'll definitely get all the information before the interview concludes and put it in the description box so you can, click and get your fashion experience. And she's great, so that'll be a fun collaboration. But, so what is
You.
your? Oh, you're welcome. What is your favorite part of being an entrepreneur?
I think it's the continual learning. Like every day,
It
I'm
is a
learning something
continuous
new
process, huh?
about business. Right. You've got to learn about the legal side, you got to learn about the finance side, you got to learn about, your customer service side, and not
Mhm.
just about putting out product. And it's something new all the time. And so I think that's what I enjoy most. I like learning new things. I don't like staying still too long.
I know the feeling.
And I like that business can evolve. Like you can decide, okay, like I mentioned earlier, yes, beauty styles is known for fashion, right? But there's more to fashion than just the dress, right? I've got my earrings on, I've got my rings, I've got my watch. I'm not wearing any shoes now, but normally I would have those shoes. But there's so many more things, right? That you can explore, right? So the business can expand, and then say I'm like, okay, I want to do home stuff. You have home fashion as well, so it doesn't have
Yes.
to stay there. And you can have all these different entities that live under one little house. So
Oh,
that's
yes, like your umbrella, and then
yes,
so
yes. So that's what I really want to, that's what's important to me, and that's what I like about businesses. You don't have to stay in one thing.
it's so true. Did y'all hear that? You do not have to stay in one thing. I just want to echo that out there because I think sometimes people think that with business and entrepreneurship, especially if they're not sure about like how to tackle it, it's such a very creative force that can allow you to use all of your talents and all of your gifts under this one purpose. So that is great. I never hear that answer. So that's cool. And it also shows like, well, I learned this about you even with just speaking with you, like how like you like to learn. You were saying like you were learning to sew this or learning about different fabrics and constantly learning about sketching. Um, yeah, that really shows the heart of a true entrepreneur that always wants to improve and do better. And those are the type of people you want to do business with. Don't plug that in there. So,
Yeah, I mean, I look at people like even Nakandon with Hard Press Studio and Jasmine Rhodes with Kitty and Rose, and I look at them and I love their work, and Don, he does different, like his thing is photography and videography, and he does different things with that. He has the studio where he offers other photographers and videographers an opportunity and space and an opportunity, right? So that's one side of the business. He can rent
true.
out the space. And then he also offers his own services, and he does fashion, he does family, whatever it is that it is whatever type of photo genre, I guess,
Mhm.
that you want to do, he can do that. So it's expanding. I think his favorite is fashion. It's high fashion. So
Oh yeah,
I don't want to
definitely.
misspeak, but I think his favorite is high fashion. You can have a favorite part, but it's important to expand. Once you get one thing set and ready, okay, what's the next? How can I expand this? And I love that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful, and there's definitely plenty of expansion opportunities with fashion. I love that about just clothes in general. Um, and then also, so those of you that don't know, Behind the Inspo is inspired by our self-esteem series, The Adventures of Primp Girl and Friends, How to Primp Life. And so with that being said, I don't know if you saw the tune, but pretty much is about Paige and her friends. They're at school. They encounter a bully, and in that encounter, they grow from it because they learn how to uplift themselves from that situation. Also, in the end of it, they end up uplifting their bully as well, and all becomes well. But that's the inspiration for this series because I feel like self-esteem is a huge component of following your dreams in the first place. And so, how do you feel like that will impact like the confidence of young girls, and like how your business impacts the confidence of?
So for me, I talked about before about why I started boutique styles. I was already sewing for myself, and then I fell into a situation where I was out of work. I was in between jobs. I was out of work, and the next job wasn't coming fast enough, and I needed something to keep my energy, put my energy into, and so that I could stay out of depression. You get into depression, you start questioning your worth, right? And
Mm-hmm.
am I enough? And am I smart enough? Am I good enough? Um, am I skilled enough? So it took me, building up a new skill to say, okay, I am smart enough. I can do this. Um, it's important, I've been bullied in school as well, and it's I feel like that's critical to our young Black girls. Even going back to representation. I mean, I can remember even in high school, the counselor was like, "Well, you could go to school for free if you want to be a teacher," and I was like, "But I don't want to be a teacher. Like,
Right.
I want to be a lawyer. Like, why are you pushing me into being a teacher?"
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think it's important that we instill into our young girls, right, and especially young Black girls, because there's not enough. There's more today than it was before. The world is definitely turning around,
So true. Yes.
but
Some
then
improvement.
you have those, right, some improvement in commercials and, excuse me, TV ads and TV shows, but you still have the social injustice, and
Mhm.
our young girls could start questioning, can this happen to me? Am I not
Right.
worth,
My life, like, am I safe?
getting help or
Hmm.
sparing my life?
Yeah,
hmm
definitely.
So I think that Primp Life, I love, like, when I learned what you were doing, and I was like, that is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's like equivalent to the Essence magazine for me as a kid, but Primp Life is really relatable, right? Where Essence and Ebony were really a grown up magazine, it wasn't a kid magazine, but it makes it more relatable for young girls, and I love it.
Yes, for our babies.
It's so important.
Thank you. Truly. Y'all, representation is key. If y'all don't know, go on and hop on the train. Because and it's like you were saying, like there's more than what we did have. But I always say this, like because we're still counting. I always say it like that. We're still counting. When I think about like the beauty queens, of course, there's a lot more black pageant queens and pageant queens of color now, but we still count every time there is one. And until that's not a
Yes,
thing anymore, it's not enough. You know, we're always
exactly.
counting. Oh, she's the fourth one, or she's the. I mean, that's not good enough to just have to like count. Or actually, a lot of things are still in the first category. There's still a lot of first to be
Oh yeah.
done. There's a lot of first that's happening every day. So, y'all, representation
Oh
is
yeah.
key. And also, so what advice would you give to someone that wants to be an entrepreneur?
Um, who I would say, besides continual learning, I would say you got to be open to failure.
Mm,
Like you cannot go into owning a business without knowing that you're going to fail at something. Something's going to fail. Something's not going to go through the way you thought it was going to happen. You're gonna your heart's gonna be broken, right? Um,
it's
but
so true.
on the other side of that failure, right, is a lesson learned. And from that lesson learned, you can build on it and create something that will be, massively successful. So you have to be open to failure.
Yes. Studio audience, clap where you stand. Have to be open to failure. No, I had a speechless moment then because I am still learning that. Yeah, I'm such a perfectionist, and I haven't quite caught on to that piece. That is so important, and like that whole adaptability um concept of it all. Thank you for sharing that advice because I know I know a lot of us are like struggling with.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've got swimsuits in my junk pile of fabric that okay, this is the idea I had, but okay, that didn't work. Let's go back to the drawing board and try again.
Try it again.
Oh, try it again. I so you got to be open to that, and you can't dwell too long in that loss, right, or that failure, right? You're gonna
Mhm.
get stuck because life around you is still
Yeah,
happening.
it is. And
So you gotta keep going.
we Dr. Webb says if at first you don't succeed, right? Try again.
Yes, 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 Dr. Webb.
So true. Um, and so lastly, so y'all, Primplife, I think everyone knows this now, but it means to make your life as beautiful as possible. And so can you tell us how you print life?
So for me, I mean, I know y'all, you see the hair and makeup because I'm working from home most days. There's no makeup. Like I had to learn that over, but um, well, let me learn how to do my makeup again. How to put lashes on again. I don't remember how to do that. Um, but for
I
me,
understand.
making my life beautiful, is really about self care, right? So, what is self care for you? Is it yoga? Is it meditation? Is it taking that, time to go get your feet rubbed, get a pedicure, taking time to get your hair done, um, you know, every other month, just to give yourself a break from doing your own hair? Is it um, taking a walk, right, through the park or around the
Yes.
neighborhood? It's really about that mental health, because I feel like that's where life starts, and that's where ideas are created, right? Created in the mind, they're built with the heart, and then we see it with our eyes. So, because you got to have the heart, you got to have passion to put in the work to make it come to life. So I really think that mental health, right, fighting depression, if you're, being bullied, right, instead of staying in that, Paige and her friends found a way to overcome, and then they help lift up the next girl, right, the bully.
Yes.
And that's so important. But it started in, for me, it starts in the mind. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how I make my life beautiful. I can tell you that stress is not good for anyone. No, no one is happy around you when you're stressed or grouchy or depressed, and you think, it's just me. It's just I'm only affecting me, but that's not true. So
Mm.
to
Right?
make my life beautiful is really about taking care of myself and checking in on my mental health.
Yes. All right, y'all. I'm clapping because that is the word. That is the word we all need to adhere to. I know me especially. Really self-care and taking care of yourself, because entrepreneurs, we don't always do that. We be running around trying to put these ideas into place, and I know as a designer and as a lead designer, I could just imagine like the hours you put in and how hard you work, the hours you put in, with like envisioning your creations, and then the hours you put in making them come to life. I respect designers so much. I was a design major for all of 2 seconds, but during that time,
We're gonna work on that, Jasmine. You can do it. You can do it.
it was so bad. I
You
was
designed something though.
one.
You designed Primplife. So
Oh
so you
yeah, oh,
designed
yeah.
something.
So yeah, not in the fashion way, but definitely our own little brand. But in that, I learned a lot from that experience. I just saw I just saw how hard designers work, and then to see like the beautiful outcomes, which is another reason why I love to see fashion shows, and I get so excited to see designs. But I remember just going back to your show. It was in Cary, and I saw you. I was like, yes, it brought a lot of like
I was a
it
nervous
brought a
wreck.
lot of joy, a lot of joy and inspiration. People might not understand that. Like, how do you get joy and inspiration from seeing clothes? No, believe me, it happens, especially when you see like the
Yeah.
work put into it. Because I can definitely see like the work put into it, the detail, and I'm just like, this is amazing. So I'm so glad you
Oh
prioritize
yeah. Oh
self
yeah.
care. Is that, oh my gosh.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you.
I wish y'all could
Yeah.
have been at the show.
I I just, for me, it's a day by day. There's sometimes where I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to take a break because everything I'm touching isn't coming out the way I want it to come out. Or I find myself, I'll stitch something together and I stitch it together wrong, or I keep, making mistakes. So to me, that's a mental health check. Like, okay, you need to step away. You need to take a minute. You need to refocus. Maybe come back to this in a day or two, and go walk. Go think about something else. Go. I don't know. I mean, it might be go vacuum or something. It's just,
Right. Right.
don't
Yeah.
get so consumed, that you end up, ruining what it is you're trying to do, or um, just
Mm.
putting on that added stress. So that's important.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That is so true. Like, just like what you just said, like you're seeing like mistakes like within your creation, like that's a check in itself. Um, that's so true. When I think about like when I'm writing content for Print Life, if the words do not come out, I'm like, all right, like it's not gonna happen today. Maybe tomorrow, but
Yep.
not today. inspiration comes at, some of the most random moments. Um,
Oh yeah.
like
Oh yeah. I
you'll
mean, I
never
can.
expect it.
To me, it's different. Like I might be getting out of the shower from washing my hair, and it's a certain look or something that I, get a glimpse of in the mirror, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Or I might see a picture of a Fiji beach, or Bora Bora, and I'm like, I can see myself in the ocean wearing,
Yes.
XYZ, and then, all right, well, let's make it happen and see what we can do. So I try to keep track of different things, what inspires me with the swimsuits. Sometimes it's my clients. Like I've had clients come and they want a one of a kind, and make the agreement. Okay, I won't make it for anyone else. Sometimes it's Instagram. I may see something on Instagram and I'm like, I like that, but this is what I would change. And so I go and make
Gotcha.
that. Um, but you are right. It comes at different random times, different
Mhm.
times. It's hard. It's sometimes hard to control. I can be working and take a break and just go through Instagram. I'm like, okay, all of a sudden I got an idea. Like I need to jot this down.
Oh yes, you gotta run to the notepad, the digital notepad. Oh my god, I feel like I do that all day. So I definitely understand. I love talking to creatives. Like you get it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. But I just enjoyed learning about you and your business as well, because I was always intrigued, and I'm so glad I got the opportunity to learn, and you sharing your wisdom with our Primplife audience. So if you could one more time, just tell us how we can find your designs, how we can purchase, how we can book consultation, or where we can follow you at.
All right, yes. So I'm on Instagram. I do better with Instagram, but I'm also on Facebook, and it's at Boutique Styles. So that's BEAUTIQUESTYLES, and there's a link on my Instagram. It should take you to the appointment booking. If you run into trouble, you can always DM me. But it should take you to the appointment booking. And then we also have a website where any past swimsuit designs are, there's pictures of them on the website for which ones are available for purchase. I've done gowns, I've done jumpsuits, and I usually ask for, depending on the project, a month to 2 months, and that way I can, fit it in with other projects that I'm working on. And you pay for your consultation. Typically, how it works is you would schedule a consultation, you pay for the consultation, and your consultation fee goes towards your final cost. So you have a service fee, and you also would pay for the fabric and materials. And I really like using quality materials and fabrics. Love mood fabrics in New York. I usually am ordering from there when I'm ordering fabrics or when I'm quoting prices from clients. But I go to Joann's as well. I like their options. They have actually done really well this past few years at adding to their collection as well. But swimsuits, I love. We're going to be officially in May tomorrow. So it's
Yes,
time, right?
it is.
And whatever body you got ready, I got a swimsuit for. Okay, don't tell me you need to lose your quarantine weight, or you got to hit the gym. We're not doing that. Not this summer. It's
Right.
2021. We've made it through COVID.
Embrace.
Like hit the beach, honey.
Yes. Embrace your body. Hit the beach with boutique styles. And is it boutiquestyles.com? Or is it
It
just
is.
linked
Yes,
to?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
gotcha. All right. And so I'm writing that. Okay. All right, y'all. It is end. the comment. Okay, wait, here we go. There we go. In the comments, it's on the comment screen, but I'm gonna also put this on the description so that way when I share this a bunch of places, they'll see it and they have no excuse not to go book a consultation. No excuses. So it'll be right there. But thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed this, and I love your line. I love what you're doing, and I also love your tenacity. And I also enjoy learning the background of you, like learning that you have a background in chemistry. It really does put it together because I can tell you're a thinker. You know, like, I can see it. And I was like, that makes sense. Like it makes sense. It
I
really does.
don't share it that often. Like
Oh, you
you know,
should.
I really should, right? Because it's part of the representation. I'll say like I don't share the two together very often. Like I have, things I do for work and supporting different like organizations and being a part of our external outreach at work to make sure we're giving back to the community. I talk about where I grew up and going to school to study chemistry and all of that. But I usually don't put the two together, but they fit together. They are me.
They do. Because it's creativity. I mean, one is creativity, obviously in the more scientific way, and then the other in the, like a more, I guess, a technical way. But I mean, I feel like they're all the same. I went to the College of Textiles at NC State where they just mesh science and fashion together anyway.
Oh gosh,
So,
yeah.
so I
Oh
think
yeah.
I think it fits absolutely perfectly. Because if fashion design was my path, I would want to be doing it and putting it together like how you did. Because that's what was in my head a long time ago. I was like, I'm gonna get engineering fashion designer. I didn't even know what that was. I just said it, but then I figured out sewing isn't for me. So I was like,
But
no,
that
let's
happens. Like,
go
I mean,
somewhere else.
you think about the astronaut suits, right? Like that happens. You need
Yes,
engineering, ingenuity, and you need someone to sew it. And I'm such a nerd. Like I love documentaries
me
and like
too.
true crime stories, but documentaries. And I watched a documentary about NASA and like the evolution of the spacesuit and astronaut suits, and it was very interesting. So I mean,
I
those
might have
things
to
go
check that out.
together as well. Yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna try to see if I can remember where I found it, but it was pretty cool.
See, we have a comment that says, awesome inspo and blurs rock. Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
nice. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I love this. So y'all make sure y'all go to styles.com and follow her on Instagram at styles. Check out all that she has to offer. Give her a follow and click that link and go ahead and book that appointment. Might as well do it now before July gets here and it's like hot.
Yeah. The world's opening back up, going
It
places.
is. Yes, COVID is
So
seemingly declining. So
dang,
definitely.
I just need I'm so happy to have made it, to the other side of the pandemic. What seems to be the other side of the pandemic now.
Yes.
Jasmine, I need to tell you thank you because I've not done a podcast before. I've not done a
Oh,
live stream. I don't
you
go live on Instagram often.
did great.
I was so nervous. Like I was asking my friends, I was like, okay, so like what do I do? Like some of my friends who do them regularly, they're like, you got it. Like you like to talk, just talk like you're having a phone conversation. It's fine.
Yes.
So thank you. I mean, you kind of got me out of my comfort zone. I was really honored to be a part of the podcast and what you're doing. I mean, I can't say it enough. It's so important.
Thank
My daughter's
you.
14, and middle school can be an awkward time, and it was
Very
awkward for me.
tough time.
So I really think that what you're doing can reach so many girls. Oh God, yeah. I think it can just reach so many girls and help so many of us, um, you know, with what we're going through, being inspired, this keeps it at the forefront. And sometimes we just need reminders, right?
Daily reminders that we are important. I think that's the word I want to use, important. Because I don't, we don't
Important.
always remember, but we are.
Right.
Pretty much
Right.
so.
And, knowing your worth. I mean, I can tell you when I was in my deepest downtime that I remember watching Being Mary Jane, and she had the sticky notes that she was posting everywhere. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I don't want to do that. But I took a dry erase marker to my bathroom mirror. And this is where I used to live before. And I would write on the bathroom mirror. And I forgot to take them down. I had my friends come over and I forgot to take them down. They were like, oh, that's cool. Like, I like that.
Yes.
So one of my friend's daughter like actually started doing it, herself. She was going through, being bullied at school. And so she was just writing those daily affirmations on her mirror every day. In fact, like my mirror right now, if I steam up the bathroom, like you can still see some of them. Like it's just something I always do. Like if I'm ever questioning myself, I'm going to write these, because that's what you're going to look at the mirror all the time, right? You go to use the
Yes,
bathroom, when
especially
you
in the
in the
bathroom.
morning, when you brush your teeth, when you get out the shower, like you're going to see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I write them. And it's important to put that there, and have those daily reminders that you are important, like you said.
Definitely. And that's so beautiful. Y'all take note of that. Me included, on the bathroom mirror, because that is literally the perfect spot. Especially since that's one of the first places you go when you wake up. It's like right there, your reminder. But that's so beautiful. So that's another way you print life.
Yes.
That is great. Oh my gosh. I knew I was talking to an inspired person, because
uh,
that's what inspired people do. They, they affirm themselves as well as others. So that is so beautiful to know. And thank you for sharing that with us as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, thank you for using this platform and inviting me on. Um,
Yes.
it means a lot, and the plug, right? The plug for the business, but
The plugs. Yes.
I like networking. Yes, I like networking and connecting people. So this was important. I mean, it'll definitely hold a special place in my heart, and I want to see you continue to expand Primplife. I want to see Primplife kits at different organizations for young girls. And
Yes.
I might see if we can get some of that done. I might have to reach out to a few organizations to see if they'd be
Please.
interested, you know
Oh my God. It's
see
like
if
you're
we can get
reading my
that done.
my goals journal, because that's literally it's literally the goals. We putting our team together to make sure we get it all done. Because I'm learning that you really need a solid team to make sure you can formulate things. There's a lot. It's a lot of work. But it's soul
It
work. I mean, this
is.
is
It
what I
is.
call it, soul work. Oh my gosh, this
There you
was
go. I mean, it's going to build your character and your business. So you're right. Soul work. I like it.
great. This soul work. Y'all, thank y'all for joining us. Y'all have a beautiful night and a lovely weekend. Y'all go out and enjoy the sun and follow Boutique Styles on Instagram right now. You can do that. And y'all have a lovely night. And this was Behind the Inspo with Primplife. Special guest, lead designer of Boutique Styles, Shalonda Walker. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.